Hey guys, I'm doing a versus video today on House of Wax 1953 versus House of Wax 2005. I'll talk about both films, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and overall, which is better in my opinion. So, with that said, let's get into this. We'll start with the 1953 one. What I like about the 1953 House of Wax is Vincent Price is in it, because he's an awesome actor, and if you haven't seen any of his work, I would recommend checking him out, because you won't be disappointed, especially if you like old horror movies. In this film, House of Wax, or in this House of Wax, Vincent Price and his partner, I forget the name of his partner in this movie, are running a wax museum, and they get into a bit of an argument at the start of the film. It breaks out into a fight. The museum burns down. Spoiler. Yeah. After that, he's presumed dead for most of the movie. You then find out later he wasn't actually dead. He was alive, and just you know, uh, presuming throughout most of the movie, people think he's paralyzed or not able to walk very far, when in fact he's just fine. He's able to move around quite well. He's just putting on a show for people. Um, yeah, after that, it kind of just builds up intensity and whatnot, but it basically, I don't want to spoil too much about it, because if you haven't seen it this will be a major spoiler for you, so I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler free as I can. But yeah, he basically starts up his new wax museum and gets new wax figures in there, even replaces the Joan of Arc figurine he had in the original museum. And then they find out how he's doing it near the end of the film, and being a traditional Vincent Price film as it is, Vincent Price dies at the end of the film. And now moving on to the before I forget, it also has a great fire scene at the start of the movie where the building burns to the ground, and yeah, that was probably the most entertaining part of the first 10-15 minutes of the movie. In the 2005 House of Wax, we have Paris Hilton. Yeah, didn't like her in that movie. It wasn't really great with her in it, because she can't act. She's a terrible actress, and she's known for a porn video. At least I think she was. So, in this movie, you have college students going to a football game, and they don't make it to their destination. Shocker. What a surprise about that. Yeah, they end up going to a town that's made mainly deserted, bar two people, I think, two or three people in the entire town. Um, they find a wax museum that's literally made out of wax, which is kind of clever, and all the wax stuff in all the figurines inside are made of wax as well, except for the actual ornaments like the piano, the tables, the chairs, all that stuff. That's all real. That's not wax. And one by one, all the students start to go missing, including Paris Hilton. Well, Paris Hilton doesn't, but um, in my opinion, the movie's not that great with it, with her in her, or with her in it, because she's a terrible actress, like I said before. But she dies in the first half hour of the movie, I think. Yeah, she dies in the movie with a spear through the head, which is pretty funny. Um, yeah, after she dies, the movie gets better, and there's a great big fire scene in the movie at the end of the film. So the entire wax museum burns to the ground, and by the end of the movie, you see the two of the main characters left alive. One has lost a finger because one of the guys that kidnapped her cut off her finger at one stage, and yeah, they get away. The wax museum burns to the ground, and the guy that was inside the museum, I think he got away. I don't remember him. I don't remember him dying in the film. Um, the guy who was creating the wax music figurines, I think he died in the fire, and the yeah, I think that was it. He just the guy who created wax figurines dies in the movie, and the other guy gets away. We later find out that the family that ran the museum actually had a third son, so there was that, which left it open for a possible sequel, but it never happened, thankfully. But overall, I think both movies are good. Just the 1950s one is actually a lot better because it doesn't have Paris Hilton in it for one, and there are some cheesy moments in both movies, but honestly, there's not an awful lot I can say that I hate about the 1950s one, whereas Paris Hilton being in the 2005 one is what I hate the most about that film. Otherwise, I find it an okay, entertaining film. But if I had to recommend one of the two, I'd recommend the 1950s one because it's more entertaining. You'll get more enjoyment out of it, and you won't be disappointed, hopefully, at the end of it. So, that's my take on these two films. If you liked my video, subscribe.